How cautious can a murderer who has been on the run for 30 years be? The man was simply on his way home when he saw a girl touch her ear and immediately decided to kill her to eliminate all risk. He and the girl arrived at the same apartment building. Seeing that the man showed no reaction, the girl entered the elevator first. But what she didn't know was that the man had quietly taken out a knife, ready to slice a few centimeters across her neck. At the critical moment between life and death, the girl's father suddenly arrived. On the surface, he scolded his daughter, but quietly removed her earphones and handed her a pair of earrings. Seeing the girl's exposed ears, the murderer finally put the knife away. It turned out he had always suspected that the girl was an undercover police officer wearing earphones, but he was still not reassured, because he had never seen this unfamiliar pair of father and daughter. The man pressed the top floor button and asked the murderer which floor he lived on. The murderer lied, saying he had something to do, and pressed the first floor instead. He didn't want to expose his residence, but he wanted to personally see whether this fake father and daughter would return to their home. Fortunately, the old policeman was highly experienced. He sensed the eyes behind him. He told the young officer to pick up the package to help cover for him. Then he used a special tool to pry open the door lock at lightning speed. Only after watching them enter the room did the murderer finally dismiss his suspicions. This murderer's nickname was Shadow. He had once been a special forces soldier. 20 years ago, he had been robbing and killing for money non-stop. It was said that the people he killed had to be counted by the ton, but for some unknown reason, in the late 1990s, Shadow suddenly vanished without a trace. Some said he was dead, others said he was scared, but in reality, he had realized the importance of teamwork. Over the years, the money Shadow earned through crime was used to adopt many children. Shadow was not driven by compassion. In name, it was adoption, but in secret, he was trying to build a group of killers. He raised several children, using methods meant for training special forces. Over more than a decade, the children lived up to expectations, and all became top-tier killer criminals. Some excelled in combat, some were masters of technology, some were skilled at disguise, and some were the most extreme of all, capable of transforming from a man into a woman. In this way, Shadow manipulated this group of killers to commit crimes everywhere. Even the police became playthings in their hands. But those who play with hawks will one day have their eyes pecked out. Gradually, Shadow realized the children were no longer obedient. During one robbery, they unexpectedly discovered a cache of cryptocurrency worth over $1 billion. Greed drove the killers to defy Shadow's orders. They decided to take the risk and copy all the data before the police arrived.
全部考走，不可以没时间的，西蒙，很快，小心，快走了，1分钟，1分钟，没时间呐。
In the end, Shadow's ominous premonition became reality. At the very moment the killers succeeded, the police also arrived at the scene, running straight into them. The killers fled immediately, and no one could stop them. In just a few exchanges, the police were left completely disoriented. Even the police captain was taken down. In the end, they could only watch helplessly as the killers escaped into the sky from a 100-meter-high building. Under Shadow's behind-the-scenes command, all of the killers escaped the pursuit without injury or loss.